guys.
Hey
Jay
everyone.
and Kim here.
How are you?
How are you? Hope you're having a great week. Anyway, tonight we're going to kind of talk about my frustrations yesterday. I don't know about you, but do you sometimes get anxious? Yesterday I was a little anxious, and I was just thinking, and I was looking at things, and I'm like, we're getting low in our accounts, and I'm going, I get really stressed out. Like if I don't have a bunch of money in my bank account, I get really anxious. So I was like really uptight. And
were you anxious?
yeah,
I
bad, uptight yesterday. And it's like, I know God's got this, right? I know He takes care of us. And I think it has a lot to do with just what we went through in the past. And it's been difficult just trying to just rebuild our lives and everything like that. And it's just hard sometimes. And then Jay comes home, and then I'm on him because I'm all anxious, and I got all this anxiety, and then I'm putting it on him. And I don't know if you guys have financial issues in your marriage, but we kind of argue over that stuff. And I have that anxiety a lot, and we're out working, and we're doing so much, and we're working and we're working and working.
And we're doing well, and we have lulls.
Right. And but sometimes I really want it to be easy. Don't we want life to be easy sometimes? Like posh and all that.
Well, we don't want to suffer. We don't want to have problems. It's like it's funny because people ask, why do we suffer? We're Christians, and we're good people. We're trying to do the right things, and bad things happen to good people, and sometimes it just doesn't make sense to us.
I know, and I ask myself that too. Because I'm like, come on, haven't we suffered enough?
Well, we work hard enough, and some of you have really great financial issues, no financial issues, but you have other issues, you have other problems. There's other things that cause you to suffer.
Illness, things like that, yeah.
Yeah, and we wonder, why do we suffer like this? And I was reading something the other day, and what's her name?
Joyce Meyer.
Joyce Meyer, and I was reading it, and she basically said something really clear, which really made a lot of sense to me. It goes, well, if you became a Christian and all of a sudden you became blessed all the time and everything was good all the time and you didn't have any problems and you didn't suffer, well, wouldn't that be God bribing you to believe in Him? And that's not what God wants at all. God wants to be with us, help us, and guide us to get through our life. Because if He just blessed us, then everybody would be a Christian,
right? Because
they're being bribed. Because look at all the blessings that happen, and you just become a Christian and everything's great now.
Yeah, God wants us to know that we love Him, that we come to Him out of love, and that we have a need.
Right. And that we're needy, that we do have needs, and that we do have problems, and we do have troubles. And some of that suffering is kind of what that's about. So we can turn to Him, and we can understand what it is that life really is about. It's not about everything being great. And by the way, there are some really great Christian people out there, and some not so great and not Christian people at all who are blessed, and everything they touch is gold. And it just makes you wonder, well, why is that? Well, we don't really know the answers to this stuff, but sometimes I've seen where people that are so blessed is that they have no need of God in their minds, because they have their money and they have everything they want around them, and they think they have no needs. Look how successful I am, and they're so caught up in themselves. And some people really live that life and see no need for God because money's there.
And money is their God. And also, we are selfish human beings. Like, we are so selfish, and we have to look at ourselves when we're doing things in life. Like, what are we truly striving for? Like, I think everything out there in the world is crazy right now, because I see everything, and everybody's just in a hurry to do this and to get that and to do this and to get in debt more, and it's killing us.
Talk about suffering. Let's go get our credit cards all charged up and then figure out how to pay them
when the market turns or something like that. Like, I was in a class today, and they were saying most people that are in their retirement years, baby boomers, are broke. Literally broke.
So what are they doing?
And working at Walmart and things like that. And it's like, wow, that's so sad. But what do we put our hope in and our trust in? We go and put all this money into a retirement fund or some kind of pension, and they're all failing. They're all falling apart.
Well,
a lot of them are.
Okay, I don't think I want to go there in
No,
this conversation.
I know, but still, it's true though. I mean, we tend to put our trust in other things than when we should really put our trust in the Lord.
Right. And at the same time, though, there's a lot of really good people out there who are trying to help people get financially straight. Dave Ramsey has some great information you could get. So he talks about saving, and he talks about how you spend, and don't get into debt. Don't put yourself more into debt. Pay cash for things. And, when anxiousness comes because of finances, if we were doing the right things to begin with, chances are that anxiousness is going to be subdued quite a bit. And, Kimberly and I have been working on that for years. And when we first lost everything, it was really difficult because we were so used to having money. And so when we made a little bit, we would go and spend it. And we're going, whoa, where'd that go? And it was a really hard lesson to learn. And we've gotten better and better at it. And by no means are we really living that perfect life of how we handle our money financially. We're doing much better.
Much better.
But we still have a lot to learn. And when she has these anxious moments, I'm just going, okay, so what is it that we're doing now that you feel anxious about? I think sometimes that anxiousness comes from some of the choices we've made aren't really the best choices to save money and do other things.
Well, like for instance, it was my 50th birthday and our 25th anniversary, and we chose to go on a cruise. Now, it wasn't a super expensive vacation, but I felt we deserved it. We hadn't gone on a trip like that for over 10 years, right? But we need a new bed, and we need a new washer and dryer. So, it's choices that we make that put us into our own dang tough spot.
So we still have the same washer and dryer, and right now we still have the same bed. So that's the way. But what?
Anyway, next year, when it's not our 50th and 25th, we'll get a new bed.
Right.
Or we'll get a new washer and dryer. But you see what I'm saying? It's the choices that we make with the money that we're blessed with. And we can make better choices, wiser choices with how we spend. And Dave Ramsey is one of a great financial he has that book.
Resources. He has a few books he's written.
And your church has some speakers and resources and stuff like that too. But it truly works if you go by it. And I don't know what it is about our American way, but it says debt, be in debt. Get this credit card, get this, interest rate.
And by the way, we know that's not all of you, because we know quite a few of you that watch us really do have good financial sound operations, how you're trading your money and taking care of your money, and that's just really awesome. And for those of you who've talked about it a lot, now's a good time to get started, because it will help take stress off your marriage. We put stress on our own marriage by the way we handle our finances. Right. We put stress on our own marriage by the way we not just handling our finances, but sometimes when we spend a little money, we're going, well, why do we do that for? And we're just getting better and better at it, but we still find ourselves in financial stress, which puts us under marital stress. Right. And finances is one of the biggest reasons people get divorced.
Right.
The reason Kimberly and I went through what we went through
was
and she went amok and all this stuff was because money was her God, and money was my God too. So I don't want everybody to think that because that's what she's saying, it wasn't on my side too. It absolutely was. And I didn't know any better either. And once we got God really closely in our hearts, He helped us see these things and found out that money isn't the best way to live life. It's nice to have. There's a good way to use it, but it's a tool, and that's all it is a tool. It's not something that you live for, and there's nothing wrong with having the financial abilities and the strengths and being wise in how to use your money, and even having the ability to make a great deal of money. But if you do,
don't be selfish.
Don't share it, because that's what God wants, and wants to bless people with what the gifts He's given you, to bless others with it, and you'll find that those gifts come back to you even tenfold. And God makes those promises in the Bible.
Well, it's a heart change, right? It really is. But truly, why do we have to suffer as Christians? Well, because the rain falls on the good and the bad, and it's normal. We live in a sinful world, so everybody suffers, and He's not going to just bless He blesses us in so many ways, but I think why do we have to look at money as like, oh, we have to be blessed with money, right?
Right.
Because it does make life a little easier, because that's the way our society is, right? But I have noticed that just the other day, I had one of my deals in escrow that was teetering. And I was like, oh, wow, this is going to fall out and it's not going to happen. And then I just went, okay, well, God, you've got something better then, right? So we need.
That's very new for her, by the way.
That's not normal.
Because that's not the way
Because normally
it used
I'd
to
be very anxious and be freaking out.
Right.
But I've come to the realization, other than yesterday, that I gave it to the Lord and I just said, you know what? You're going to have something better for me. Something better will come around, right? And
or it'll get worked out, which, by the way, is what's
worked out.
Right.
Or it's getting worked out. So we just sometimes have to realize that our surroundings and things that are going on around us is not the way that we're supposed to be basing our happiness on those external things. Happiness and joy come from within, and we need to be happy with the Lord, and He brings us that joy and peace from within if we can just focus on Him and His goodness and all the good things that we have in life.
Right.
Like, I look at my life and I go, wow, I have a great home. No, it's not the home I used to have, but I am so happy here. I am much happier in my humble little home than I was in my big, huge house.
Right.
So much happier. It takes me like 1 hour to clean, and I love it. So for me,
because she's a clean freak.
I am a
her
clean
other house
freak.
used to be 3 to 4 hours.
Oh gosh, more than that.
And I had a thought.
And daily. Sorry. Okay.
No, that's okay. No,
Yeah.
I want to back up on something. So something that comes up when we talk about finances and being blessed by God. I know there's a lot of really great preachers out there who teach God and teach the truth and teach, the Bible and what it teaches about prosperity. But sometimes there are some ministers out there who teach prosperity as if you follow God and you're following Him the way you're supposed to, you will be absolutely financially blessed. Please don't get caught up in this, because it's the same thing as somebody who said in Jesus' day, when they said, Lord, what sin did this man commit that he can't walk or that he's blind? Right. And Jesus says, no, it's for the power of God that the blind man got sight again. It had nothing to do with whether or not you were right or wrong or good or bad. And because you're not financially blessed does not mean that you're cursed or that you're making bad choices or that you're a sinner. Well, by the way, we're all sinners. But don't get caught up in that, because if you send money to these people, and some of them are very good, so please don't get it wrong, and I don't want to down these guys, but some of these guys you send me money and all of a sudden you'll be blessed and you'll have all these wonderful things. It's like, guys, that's not what the Bible teaches in any way, shape, or form. They teach that out of the goodness of your heart, if you give, you will be blessed. But don't give because somebody's saying they will bless you because of it. Give it to God. God will take care of it. Give it to your church. Tithe. Do the basics that God talks about and see what happens. Test Him, He says. Test Him on His financials. Give Him something and see what He does with it. We have always been blessed by it, and there were times years ago when we were in really financial straits and things were bad. We actually had money appear out of nowhere in our bank accounts.
And we told you that story.
Yeah, well, so some of you who didn't hear it, it was a while ago, and it was in one of our videos from the past. And literally, we were in Colorado. We had $300 or $400 in the bank, and all of a sudden the next morning there was $500 more in there, which is exactly what we needed to pay for something. And we called the bank and said we didn't want to spend the money because it wasn't there yesterday. We didn't make a deposit. Nobody had made a deposit. The bank said there are no recent deposits, and as far as they were concerned, that money was always there, and it was never only $300. And we couldn't explain it, and that happened like 2 or 3 months in a row. So we know God blesses when you have a true need.
Well, He always supplies our needs. He really does. I mean, we live, just being in this country alone, we are so blessed. I mean, people have to walk miles just for water, just for drinking water, in other countries. And I think we forget that and we miss it. And we think that, we're entitled. We should have this and that and this and that.
But you know what, though? We are entitled. But let's not just say we're
let's
entitled.
Let's not act like that.
Let's live like we're blessed, not entitled.
Yeah, and let's work hard, and it's fine, and give back. But let's not make that our whole entire life, right? Right. Yeah. So
that was perfect, and we just wanted to talk about that a little bit because of the financial stress that gets created in marriages and the anxiety. Kimberly and I had a nice little argument that day, because the funny thing was we'd actually just talked about it the day before, and we had it all worked out, and she was happy. And I had to go over it again, and she misunderstood a couple of things I was saying because she already had it in her head that things were going bad. And that happens to us when we start getting negative thinking. Negative thinking takes over, and all of a sudden...
Battlefield of the Mind.
Right. And by the way, that book, Battlefield of the Mind, is an amazing book.
And they also have devotional.
Joyce Meyer.
Yeah, Joyce Meyer. And they also, it's a book, and then they have a devotional too, if you guys have that YouVersion
Bible
app on your phone. And then also, some of you are like, you're still confused. We have people come up to us. Well, I'm on Relentless Love. I love your videos. Well, did you watch our story?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
where's
right.
your story? And a lot of people aren't seeing our story.
The 30-minute video that we started with.
Yeah, so we literally did a professional video of our whole entire story.
Yeah, because we're not professionals, you can tell, right?
Well, we're just doing it. So, oh, we watch your live videos, and they're great. But our story, we have actually done, and it's pinned at the top of our Facebook page, and it has our Relentless Love logo, and it just says, "Here's our story," and you click on it, it takes you to our YouTube page. So share our story. If you guys are blessed by hearing us, share us, and tell your friends. And we're here to help. We just have a heart for marriages.
We want to help people
and
who
we've
are
been
struggling.
through so much ourselves, and we're not perfect by all means.
But we've been so blessed by God through our marriage now that we just want others to have the same joy and peace that we have. And yes, we still have troubles. Yes, we still have arguments. But you know what? We have a joy and peace that we never had before, so people can find it themselves and find something new in their lives.
So that that like, just from where I was to where I am now, that there is no, like, it's just incredible what God can do in your life when He transforms you and your heart. It's a heart change, and it takes time. And I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and she was like, "Well, how long did it take you?" Well, it took me about 10 years, okay? But that doesn't mean that that's going to take you 10 years,
But
right?
if it does, just stay on the path.
But you got to remember where we came from, going through what we went through. That's a lot to go through.
I think people go through more that do better, but it's
absolutely. But
still,
I would take that over losing a child any day.
Yeah.
And the stuff like that. And I think we have to remember when we're going through hardship that somebody else has it worse. And if you go out and you start helping other people, then all of a sudden you realize, wow, my problems aren't so bad.
Right.
And then you start seeing your blessings. And again, like we talked about last time, a change of perspective, right? You change your perspective on how you see things, and then all of a sudden you're thinking on all things that are great and good and lovely and better, and then you're looking at your life, and now you're like, wow, this is great, and then you count your blessings. But anyway, we thank you guys for watching. Have a blessed night. I hope we get more monsoons, because I loved the weather today, even though it was muggy.
Yeah, and share this with everybody, because we just want to help others find the same path and truth and love that we have found, and we just hope that you guys will get it as well. Thank you so much. Love you.
Love you. Bye.